Hello, here we are on week 9 of our CSA unboxing videos. Like last week, I got down to the farmers market a little bit earlier than I usually do, and things worked out really well. But before we take a look at the vegetables we got this week, let's take a look at some of the things we did with the vegetables that we got last week. We have really been enjoying the corn that has been coming with our CSA share in recent weeks, and very much the cabbage as well, which we used to make coleslaw on a couple of occasions this week. I used the old box grater to shred it up and then added the carrots and onion that came with the CSA, and then I ate a lot of it on hot dogs. Tomato sandwiches were a treat this week. That was a wonderful tomato that we got, and I can't wait to get into the one that came this week. And here's a salad that we had. Isn't that delicious looking? Sunset in Norwood, a photo that I took this week that I just enjoy looking at. A great day at the farmers market picking out my CSA items. I don't think I've ever explained the way it works. When you go down to the farmers market here in Canton, Kent Family Growers have a CSA table set up where people who have CSA shares can go and pick out the vegetables they want for their share. We have a basic share, which means that we are entitled to 8 items out of a list of, I don't know, it's probably about 20 items by now. If you have a full share, you get to pick a whole bunch more. And then you decide what you want and pull them out. You weigh what needs to be weighed and count what needs to be counted, and go on your merry way. And so I never really know what I'm going to come back with. Even though we get an email the night before that tells us what vegetables are going to be available, I still don't have any idea what I'm going to pick up until I get there. And so here's what we got this week. First off, another cabbage, a plain old green cabbage. We had one last week. You saw that we made some coleslaw with that. We made coleslaw twice. Each time I made the coleslaw, I kept thinking, I want to make cabbage rolls. So maybe this cabbage is destined for some cabbage rolls. We'll find out. This is heavy. I got another melon. This is a watermelon, of course. Cantaloupe last week, and you saw how good that cantaloupe looked and heard how delicious it was, and I am hoping that this one will be just as good. I very rarely buy watermelon in the grocery store because I am almost always disappointed. I do not think I will be disappointed with this. It's really, really heavy, much heavier than it looks, which I'm told is the way to pick out watermelon. A little bit smaller, a garlic, it's not a clove. The individual things are cloves. What is this? It's a bunch of garlic? A head of garlic? Anyway, we use garlic a lot, so that'll come in handy. As usual, a head of lettuce, and you saw that we again made a big tossed salad this week, and this will be going into this week's. In fact, I ate the last of the salad for lunch today, so maybe I'll make this tonight. This is going to be a weekly item. The tomato, big heirloom yellow tomato here. I actually, for lunch, finished up the last of the large tomato that we got last week that we ate exclusively in tomato sandwiches. Although today I finished up what was left, the dregs of it, on top of what was left of my salad. Let's see, what else? Things that we had to count. 1.5 pounds of beans, of wax beans, yellow beans. We got these a couple of weeks ago and gave them to our in-laws, so we did not get a chance to eat them. I gave them to my in-laws. They're not my wife's in-laws, they're her actual parents. But these beans look like they're going to be delicious. Can't wait to get to those. And I believe, we've got 2 more items. These were items we had to count. 4 ears of corn. Funny story from last week. 4 ears of corn. The story from last week was that My wife brought home 4 ears of corn, so we had 8 ears of corn, and there's only 2 of us that eat them, so it took us a couple of days to get through the corn. I do not think she will buy corn today, but I did not warn her, so we'll see what happens. And the last item, 4 cucumbers. And these cucumbers are starting to look like normal cucumbers. That's not 4. Here's 4. This one's got a little curve to it. If you remember early in the season, the cucumbers were all curly. They still had some curly ones, but I went for straight ones this time. And they're delicious, and I'm sure they will be again this week. And that's it. That's all the items we got in this week's CSA. Come back next week when we'll take a look at what vegetables are available next week and at what we did with these vegetables this week.